What's going on, YouTubers? This is Buddy coming at you with another quick video. I wanted to talk about proper placement of the skimmer. Now, it depends on how your system's set up, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit. But I think it's very important to place your skimmer in the proper place. Now, as you can see here, that I have a refugium. So I just cleaned out most of the macroalgae, so there's not a lot in there. I had to clean it out. Alright, so basically what I'm saying is, since I have a refugium, I would not want to place my skimmer in this last chamber here, because I don't want to skim out a lot of the benefits of the cocoa pods and trigger pods. All the microfauna and stuff that comes from the refugium would get skimmed out if the skimmer was downstream from the refugium. So placing your skimmer upstream from the refugium is what you want to do. I mean, that's proper placement of the skimmer. You want to have it upstream. You want to have the water drain down from the aquarium, hit the skimmer in your first chamber. Now, if you're going to go with a system that doesn't have a refugium, then most people, if they have a big system and they don't have a lot of space for a big sump, will not go with the refugium, and they'll go with an oversized skimmer, a big skimmer, and they'll put it in the center section here. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You can have a very successful saltwater aquarium or a reef aquarium without a refugium. Now, a refugium is not a necessary need. It is a very natural filtration system and very beneficial. I do recommend them. I use them on all my systems. But the reason why I'm making this video is to talk about proper placement of the skimmer. Now, like I said, you definitely do not want to place your skimmer downstream from your refugium. And like I said, the reason why that is because all the benefits that are coming from your refugium back up to the main display tank would be getting skimmed out. So you definitely want to have your skimmer here in the first chamber. Now, that also goes for UV sterilizers. You do not want your UV sterilizer downstream from the refugium. You want to keep it upstream. As you can see, my drain line comes down into a filter sock. I have my UV sterilizer and my protein skimmer in this first chamber. Now, after the skimmer does its job and the UV sterilizer helps to clean the water, and if there is any parasites, hopefully it helps to kill them. Now, UV sterilizer actually doesn't kill the parasites. It actually makes it so they can no longer reproduce. Now, maybe if you have a very strong bulb or a very strong UV sterilizer, exposure to the UV light may kill them, but the main thing is it makes it so they stop reproducing. That is what a UV sterilizer does. Now, it also does help with cloudiness in the water. It can help with if you have a green or yellowish tint to the water, it can help to clean the water as well. Carbon will help to do that too, help to take out cloudiness and help to take out any yellow discoloration from the water. Now, a lot of guys don't like to run carbon on their systems. There's upsides to everything. There's an upside and a downside to everything. Okay, obviously in the natural ocean, they don't have bags of carbon in there, but there is other ways, like that the ocean kind of does have like a carbon system, basically like a volcano ash, the rocks and stuff like that, is that real black chalky looking rock. In my opinion, that's like the ocean's carbon. But let's get back to the topic here. So you want to have your skimmer upstream. Like I said, it's very important. And I have it so my inlet, I'm going to try to capture this on camera. As you can see, there's my drain line. It comes down into the filter sock. And then there's the inlet to the skimmer. Now, that water is right over top of the outlet. It's coming right down. The skimmer is grabbing as much of that fresh water coming from the main display as possible. And it's being sucked up into the skimmer and being skimmed out. Now, I think that's very important. It's a very good way to set your system up. Now, if you're not going with the refugium or a wet-dry filter system or anything like that, now you can obviously go the way I said, and that would be putting your skimmer in this chamber here. And I've seen a lot of systems like that, Now I've seen other systems too where guys will have their first chamber, and then they have their skimmer, and then they have the return pump, and then they have a small pump pumping water into another section, which would be the refugium, and then that drains back through their system. But the problem with that, unless you're having it pumped strictly from this chamber into a bigger refugium and then straight back up into the main display tank, that would be your best way to go if you wanted to go that route. If you wanted to have a refugium, a larger based refugium outside of your main display tank, that would be the best way to go. And you know, keep in mind, guys, a refugium, like in my case, it's very small. My refugium's only 10 inches by 12 inches and 9 inches deep, so it's not very wide, it's not very big, it's not very deep. Obviously, you know, it's 10 inches long, 12 inches wide, and 9 inches high. The water level is 9 inches deep, and I keep 4 inches of Miracle Mud at the bottom. Now Miracle Mud that's a whole nother video, and I will do a video on the benefits of Miracle Mud. It's Ling. Ling is the maker of Miracle Mud. He was way ahead of his time when he made Miracle Mud. So I just wanted a couple quick thoughts on skimmers, and always make sure that you keep your skimmer necks clean. Obviously there's tons of videos out there about that. You know, you want to clean that. Even you know, I see a lot of guys that have their skimmers hooked up to a drain line, and it drains into another bucket or something like that. Now that's great, that really is. But if it's draining into a bigger bucket, how often are you cleaning the skimmer neck? Now, if you're not cleaning the neck in the collection cup, let me be clear, your skimmer does not work effective as it should. Now, I've heard people say, oh, well, my skimmer's still pulling out gunk, even though the neck is all gunked up. Yeah, well, if it was clean, it'd be pulling out a lot more gunk. So definitely keep your skimmer neck on your collection cup clean. Once a month, at least, you know, try to do it once a month. If it's something you do every 2 months, you know, that's whatever. But you want to definitely pull out the pump to the skimmer and clean it well. Give it a good vinegar bath. That's going to keep the pump working more efficiently. That's going to keep your skimmer working more efficiently. Skimmers only remove 30% of dissolved organics. They're only 30% effective. And if your skimmer isn't properly cleaned or maintenance, you know, that 30% can be reduced. Now you want to keep your skimmer clean and properly maintained so you can optimize as much of that 30% as possible. Oversize your skimmer a little bit. If you have a 65-gallon aquarium like I do, go with the skimmer rated for 125-gallon. You don't want to go have a 65-gallon aquarium like me and then go with a skimmer that's rated for a 300-gallon system or something like that. You don't want to oversize it that much. You really would be paying extra money for something that's way too big, and you know, not going to be as beneficial to you as you would think. Mainly because it's going to pull out as much as it can within the first day, and then it's not going to be doing a whole lot. So just doubling the size of your skimmer compared to the gallons on your display tank is just a good way to go. That'll definitely optimize and make sure you're getting all of that 30% dissolved organics removed from your system. And make sure that you always have your skimmer placed upstream, and that includes UV sterilizers placed upstream from your refugium if you have a refugium. Alright guys, this is Buddy signing out. Just wanted to give you a couple of quick thoughts on refugiums. I'll give you a quick shot of the tank. The sun is just starting to come up in my system, so you may not be able to see it that well. And guys, keep in mind, you do not need a very expensive light fixture to grow macroalgae in a refugium. Okay, those are just regular daylight light bulbs, energy saver bulbs, you know, nothing special. And they grow your macroalgae like wildfire. Let me see if I can give you a shot of the tank. Like I said, the lights are just starting to come on. Might be hard to get a full shot of it. I'll do a quick close-up of some of my SBS pieces that are really starting to take off. There's my pink tip bird's nest. Absolutely beautiful. The pink tips are just so vivid, so vibrant. It's beautiful. There's my blue tip acro. Let me see, where's another one of my favorite pieces. Well, that's a red planet right there. That's a beautiful piece too. That's a red planet. The tips are very red. That's a gorgeous piece. Now mine, acropores can change color so much. That's a whole other video. I'll do a video on that. But mine is like a yellowish color with red polyps and red tips. Very gorgeous piece. Alright guys, when I get a better camera, I'll do some real good shots of the corals in my tank. My corals have gorgeous coloration. You know, and that's due to keeping, if you're keeping SPS pieces, definitely keep nutrients levels low as possible. And make sure you have good intense lighting, and that will help with coral growth and coloration. Alright guys, again, this is Buddy signing out. This is about skimmers. Proper placement of your protein skimmer. It's very important, guys. Alright, happy reefing.